Now, Yagya assumes a very special meaning now. Obviously, we are not talking of the ritualistic burning of wood and other things. We are talking of something. It's a special occasion today, an important religious day. So let's call the priest and he'll perform the Yagya. What are you trying? It's between you and your truth. What can a priest or a mediator do in this? The Gita is not an entertainer. The Gita is not a storybook. The Gita also does not exist to what happened once upon a time. The Gita is a book of just being interested in what Arjun is saying and how Krishna is responding won't help much. You'll have to see how that relates to your life. That's the purpose of Gita. The problem is not with the resource, not with the medicine. The problem is with Let's read what the verse says and then get to the core of it. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, verse 10. At the beginning of creation, Prajapati said that by Yagya alone you shall prosper. This Yagya will be like Kamdhenu, granting everything that is really sought. Hmm? Right. So it seems there is a reference to a particular mythological story. Hmm? Seems there is allusion to creationism. So there is Prajapati, the creator, and he is creating human beings. And having created human beings, he is instructing them to abide by Yagya. And telling them that by Yagya alone, all that you truly need shall be achieved. Now, what does that mean inwardly? What is meant by the beginning of creation? We need to go deeper into this because this, if rightly understood, would help us penetrate a lot of mythological stories and derive the right value out of them. And also help avoid a lot of superstitious, belief-based, tradition-based misinterpretation. Right? So, beginning of creation. To whom is all the creation? To whom is all the creation? To whom is the world? To the ego, right? So, the beginning of creation denotes the inception of the ego itself. The beginning of creation denotes the inception of the ego itself. The inherent meaning is the ego comes into being with a certain rule. The moment the ego declares itself existent, it is bound by a certain rule. The rule is implicit in the existence of the ego itself. The rule is inherent in the definition of the ego itself. But because, as human beings, we often find ourselves subordinated to rules made by others, so in the same vein, it is being presented as if the rules for the ego are made by an agency, a powerful agency, a supernatural agency outside of the ego. That supernatural agency is being referred to as Prajapati. You can rightly understand it as Prakriti. Because if the ego does borrow its existence from somewhere, it is Prakriti. Right? It is Prakriti. So the ego comes into being, and that is the beginning of creation. The ego comes into being. Can there be creation without somebody to observe it? Can there be creation without somebody to declare it exists? The word creation, by definition, implies duality. If there is an object to look at, there ought to be definitely a subject as the looker. There is the object to be seen. So definitely there has to be a subject as the seer. These two will necessarily go together. You cannot say there is creation, but nobody to look at the creation. Nobody to verify the creation. How can there be creation if it is for nobody? And if there is nobody who testifies that there exists something, existence by definition requires two: the thing and its experiencer. Right? So the ego comes into being. And it comes into being with a prescription or a mandate or a suggestion or an advice. A rule or an order. And what does that say? It says, live by Yagya. Let that be the way you exist. Let Yagya be your very way of life. The prescription is ontological. If you do not follow it, then suffering will be existential. You will not be able to avoid it. Not optional, but embedded in your very being will be suffering. Inseparable from who you are. The only way to avoid that suffering is Yagya. Now, Yagya assumes a very special meaning now. Obviously, we are not talking of the ritualistic burning of wood and other things. We are talking of something far deeper here, something that lends meaning to our very existence, something without which the ego is going to definitely suffer. And if that advice is heeded, you shall have everything that you truly seek, said Prajapati. Live by Yagya and you will have everything that you truly seek, just as the mythical Kamadhenu cow, the wish fulfilling one, provides everything that the devotee, the seeker, needs or requests. So the comparison is being made to Kamadhenu. You have to be careful of the symbolism. There is the beginning of creation, there is Prajapati, there is Kamadhenu. What do they truly represent? Please understand. The Gita is not there to take us away from ourselves into the realm of stories. The Gita is there to take us deeper into ourselves, not away from ourselves. The Gita is not an entertainer. The Gita is not a storybook. The Gita also does not exist to what happened once upon a time. The Gita is a book of life. There are some who think of it as a book of history. There are some who think of it as a book of myth. Some think of it as just a holy book of religion. Above all, the Gita is a book of life. It deals with who you are, your daily hopes and aspirations, sorrows and sufferings, existential angst, and the quest for liberation. Gita is not there to tell you what happened on the field of Kurukshetra. That is just the setting to convey a deeper truth, a more intimate truth, intimate to your life. You are not to be transported to Kurukshetra. You are to be taken within your being. Just being interested in what Arjun is saying and how Krishna is responding won't help much. You'll have to see how that relates to your life. That's the purpose of Gita. Do you see this? Yes. So therefore, Kamadhenu has to mean something related to you. Prajapati has to mean something related to the ego. Yagya too has to mean something deeply beneficial for your life. Do we get this? So what is Yagya? If the ego is being told in very certain terms, Yagya is the way of life, else you will suffer. And if you can live in the way of Yagya, what you truly need shall be attained. What is Yagya then? We'll carefully enter into the thing. So Yagya, as you know, means sacrifice, right? Offering, sacrifice. There is the sacrificial fire, and then there is the god or the deity who's being referred to and pleased. Respectfully, you are offering something to the deity. That's what is happening, right? So there is the one making the sacrifice, and there is the one being pleased, the receiver of the sacrifice. This process of sacrifice is called Yagya. More objectively speaking, it is a process of transfer. Transfer of something from the one making the sacrifice, the seeker, the devotee, to the one receiving the sacrifice, right? It's a transfer of mass and energy and resources, right? The one who sits in front of the sacrificial fire says, I have something and I'm willing to part with it. I'm willing to let go of it. I'm willing to allot it, offer it, present it, gift it to something higher. Call that one of the gods, Indra or Varun or somebody, as they appear in the Rig Veda, where the Yagya is at the center of the Vedic religion. So you could call the receiver a god, or you could simply call the receiver a higher being. What does this whole process mean in inner terms? We'll understand. The one offering the sacrifice is the existing state of the ego. The one offering the sacrifice is the existing state of the ego. It's a comparatively lowly state because the ego is bound to and bogged down by a lot of needless attachments. If you carry a lot of weight on your shoulder, it won't be easy to rise high, right? You overload an aircraft, it won't take off, right? You take a hot air balloon or a hydrogen helium balloon and tie a heavy weight to its string. And you have fastened it to the ground, right? It would keep pointing upwards, but never really rise. It would keep loving the sky, but never really move. We are trying to understand sacrifice. So the one offering the sacrifice is the existing lowly state of the ego. And that's precisely the reason this entity is sitting down in front of the fire. Because it needs something, because it is not all right with being what it currently is. That's the reason the process of sacrifice is needed. What does it do to rise higher? It looks at its own possibility, not the ultimate possibility. Because sitting where it is, it cannot know the ultimate, the absolute. But still, what it can definitely know is a relatively higher state possible to itself. The sky is the absolute, and sitting on the earth, bound to the earth, the ego cannot really know the sky. But still, the ego can conceive of, realistically think of, a higher state, a better version of itself, better relative to what it currently is. That higher state of the ego is the one to whom the offering is being made. A better version of myself. Not the ultimate, but still much better than what I have become. Now, do you see why our gods look so much like us? Because they are much better and refined versions of who we are. They are yet not the ultimate. Vedanta would not admit that gods are the truth. No, they are not the truth, but they are still much higher, respectable, admirable, compared to who we are. So, what is the ego being advised to do? Now, you have certain resources. To you, they are resources, but from where I look at them, they are your bondages. You have certain resources, but from where I look at you, what you call as your resources are in fact your bondages. They are your bondages not because there is something wrong with those resources, those objects. They are bondages because you being who you are, anything that you have will become a bondage. A fellow has gone totally mad. You offer him medicine. Even medicine can be used as a poison by this person. The problem is not with the resource, not with the medicine. The problem is with what this person has become. You offer him medicine, he puts it in his ear. You offer him something to drink and he puts it here. You offer him something to eat. This will help you, heal you. He puts it in his nose. Do you get this? Therefore, no point accumulating more of what you already have. because what you already have is exactly what has kept you in the position you are in. Therefore, transfer the resource. That's what the Karma Kand of fire sacrifice is meant to denote and symbolize. It's a beautiful symbol. Transfer it, swaha. I don't deserve to have it. So I'm offering it to the higher possibility. If it stays with me, it will corrupt me further. If it stays with me, it will become my load, my burden, my bondage. But if it goes to you, I am unburdened. So Yagya is a process of unburdening of the ego, and that unburdening is at the center of all liberation. You understand this? That's the way to rise in life. The ego is not strictly a point on a plane. The ego too is a range, a spectrum. There is a lower end of the range and there is an upper end. What yagya means is you offer what you have to the best version of yourself. You offer what you have to the best version of yourself. Put everything that you have to the best use possible. That is yagya. Deny your lower self any energy, any time, any resource, any money, any consideration, anything it asks for. And it will yell and demand. Ignore it. Offer whatever you have to your own higher possibility. That is yagya. Do you get this? There is you, there is a demon within you, which is the lowest point attainable to the ego. And then there are the gods within you. We are not talking of the truth yet. We are not talking of Paramarth here. We are talking of just something that is relatively higher to who you are. You could choose to devote your resources to the lowermost, and that will sink you further, or you could choose to devote your resources to the one you can see as higher, and that will uplift you. The promise being made here is, if this is the way you live, don't be afraid of the sacrifice. What you truly need shall be yours. Don't be afraid of the sacrifice. What you truly need shall be yours. It's the whole thing sounds quite inverted. What is being said is, by denying yourself of what you don't deserve, you will provide yourself what you truly need. Learn to deny your lower self of what it does not deserve. And it is very demanding. It's very loud and noisy. It keeps asking for every bit of your life. Give me time. Keep thinking of me. Keep serving me. Deny. Reject. Refuse. Don't look at it. Don't listen to it. Withdraw resources. Withdraw time. Withdraw energy and attention. Withdraw whatever you have and offer it to the higher one. That is Yagya. Do you understand this? It's a way of life. It's not some ritual you can be done with in flat 30 minutes every day or once a month. It's not something that somebody else, a priest or somebody, can do for you. It's a special occasion today, an important religious day. So let's call the priest and he'll perform the yagya. So what are you trying? It's between you and your truth. What can a priest or a mediator do in this? You're fooling yourself and fattening the priest. Do you get this? By denying yourself what you don't deserve, you will get what you need. And what do you need? What does the lowly state of ego need? It needs ascension. It needs to rise. Unburden yourself by offering what you have to your own higher potential, and you shall rise. You shall rise. Beautiful, isn't it? The ego, remember, is not one thing. It's a range. It's a range. Your sense of self this moment is probably not the same as what it was 2 hours back or would be 2 hours hence. It's a range. You are one person, one being, one moment, one place. You are another person, another being at another place. But you do know which version of yours is the higher one, don't you? Don't you know that? There is one version that is trying to somehow wind up whatever has been assigned in the office just to get away. There is one version that is overwhelmed by love in a moment of realization. There is one version as you sit here. Absorbed in meditation. Don't you know which of these is higher? Don't you know? You know that, right? You know that. So serve the highest within you. And this is a very, very practical advice from Prajapati. Why? Because if you are asked to serve the truth, that becomes abstract. You don't know who to serve. I am being told to dedicate myself to the truth. But the truth by definition is unknowable. So where does that leave me? Nowhere. You are to serve the truth. What's the truth? It can't be spoken of, can't be seen, can't be heard, can't be touched. What do you have? Nothing. This is more practical. Serve the God within you. And what does God or Dev denote? The ego's own higher state. The ego's own higher state. It becomes even more interesting as we move to the next verse. I had thought of taking just the 10th one, but the 11th one is inseparable. We have to get into it. It says, you feed your own godliness, and your godliness will feed you, and there would be a mutual reciprocity. Nourish the divinity through Yagya, and that divinity will in turn nourish your growth. In this way, through mutual upliftment, you become established in the higher welfare. How does that operate? Very practically. You empower the highest version of yourself you know of. You empower that one. How do you empower that one? By allotting it resources, allotting it time, allotting it importance. Empower the higher version of yourself, and once it is empowered, it will have greater power, greater authority in pulling you upwards. Now, when you would be slipping and sinking, your own better self will catch you from behind, extend help, and hold you from falling. The ego, being a spectrum, nourish, empower the upper end of it. The more you empower the upper end, the more it will be able to pull the lower one up. And this will be a recursive process. Because this existed only in relation to this. We said the higher one, higher relative to what? The lower one, right? And if the lower one itself moves higher, what happens to the upper end? It goes up even higher. And so the process continues, spirals up. Do you see? So this is a method of inner growth, Yagya. Don't save what you have for your lowly endeavors, for your ordinary desires. Everything that you can possibly use must be put to the question. Is it being used in the highest way possible? Yes, I do have a car, a vehicle. Is it being driven to the best destination? Or is it just an instrument to burn fuel and be randomly driven around? Yes, I have money. To what use is the money being put? Is the resource being put to the highest use, or am I cutting corners from the deserving use so that I can save for my nonsense? The same resource that can uplift you can also destroy you. Put money to the right use, it will uplift you. And if you prevent money from flowing in the right direction and save it for the ordinary kind of desires and expenses, this same money will destroy you. I'm not saying it will be wasted. No. Wastage is a soft term. The resource, if not put to the best use, would actually turn back at the holder, the user, the owner, and eat him up. Do you understand this? So everything that you have is a double-edged sword. Put it to the right use, it uplifts you. And dedicate it to the service of your ordinariness, and it destroys you. But folk wisdom, lok dharma, says saving is a virtue. You must save. You must save. The Gita doesn't advise that. When pop wisdom says you must save, nobody asks who is the saver and save for what. Nobody asks, right? It is taken as understood, implicit, that the one saving has the wisdom to save for the right purpose. But is that assumption valid? People are continuously saving to get their daughters married off. And they think they are doing the right thing. They think they are being wise and disciplined. And so many of us have monthly saving plans, SIPs, and so many things. Yes, you are saving. The question is, for what? For what? We have Krishna here and he is advising, invest it in the right place. You are the center and the purpose of your life. Invest every bit of every resource in your own highest potential. Saving for a rainy day and all is fine. But not the real thing. You understand this? One could say the central problem in life is that of resource allocation. There is nobody who doesn't have anything. If you don't have anything, you at least have time, right? You are alive. There is nobody who doesn't have any resources. The problem is we do not know what to do with what we have. These two verses carry the answer. Don't save. Sacrifice. Yagya. Yagya. Offer it to the godliness within. Money saved in ignorance will be money that destroys the saver. The more you save, the more you will be destroyed. Saving for your desires is in no way aligned with the very purpose of human birth. Continuously saving because 4 years later I want to have that luxury car. Sir, you are feeding your own destruction. You are continuously saving. You are continuously putting money in the mouth of your own inner monster. I have nothing against cars, but you need to invest that money somewhere else, sir. Were you perfectly all right? We would have said, fine, go ahead, enjoy the car. If that's what you think is the best thing, proceed. But here is a cancer patient refusing treatment because the treatment is deemed expensive, and instead saving money for a luxury car. What do we say? The fellow is so oblivious of himself, so ignorant of his condition that he says, no, 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 I don't have money for my treatment. Why? Because I'm saving it for the car I'll buy 4 years later. Yes, the car will be there and used. For what we call as your Brahma Yatra. You know what that means? That's what is written on many of the vehicles used to ferry the body to the cremation ground. Loyalty is a resource. Attention is a resource. Mind space is a resource. Companionship is a resource. Sacrifice unworthy companions. Unburden yourself. And right companionship will demand a certain investment. Be willing to provide that. You might need to travel to meet the right companion. You might need to wait for the right companion. You might need to mend your ways for the right companion. Be prepared. That's what is Yagya. For your sake, I shall sacrifice. Because you are lovely. Because you are higher. Because you are who I deserve to be. Because the more I empower you, the more I empower myself. Therefore, I will sacrifice. You get this? Do you also wonder how something as deeply potent and meaningful as Yagya was reduced to a set of lifeless rituals by Lokdharm? In fact, they will pick up these verses from the Gita to loudly claim that even Sri Krishna is supporting the fire sacrifice. And then they will say, this is all very scientific because the smoke and the fumes from Yagya, they cleanse the environment. That's what their claim is. They say it is a great generator of oxygen. When you burn wood, you get oxygen. Some of them are actually proposing this as a solution to North India's, Delhi's problems. They say you can correct the AQI by having a lot of Yagya, Agnihotra that is. Bring wood, bring ghee, bring the other ingredients, and you will find that the air has been cleansed. Is the concept of Yagya clear? Do you see this disinvestment and reinvestment as a way of life? Is that clear? Right? Disinvestment and reinvestment. Disinvest it from all the places suggested by your current condition. Your current condition says you must put money here, you must put time here. That's what your current condition is strongly advising you. Don't listen, disinvest. And then consult your love, your meditation, your attention. Consult your better self and see where you need to reinvest. But you cannot reinvest if you are already deeply invested and unwilling to withdraw your investments. Do you see why I get uneasy when you offer respect, etc. to me? If you want to irritate me, just say Shat Shat Naman. Because when you are offering me something, that's a fraud. You don't have anything to offer me. To reinvest, first of all, you should have disinvested. To offer me something, first of all, you should have withdrawn it from somewhere else. But you come to me with an empty self and make a hollow, empty gesture. Sir, we are offering this to you, but you have nothing. Whatever you have is already deeply invested somewhere else. So why are you making this fake gesture here? The Vedantic process is of withdrawal, neti neti. Withdraw first. Take it back. Respect is a resource. And you have invested that resource in the worst way possible. Look at the people you respect. Look at the people you admire. And then you come and tell me, sir, we love you, sir, we respect you. How is that even possible? Same applies to surrender. Surrender is not about having a supreme Lord or God or truth and bowing down there. Surrender is about the determination to not to surrender to unworthy objects. That's the essence of surrender. I will not bow this head down. That's surrender. I am one, I am integrated, I am crystallized. And this shall be offered, this that I am shall be offered only to the highest. That is surrender. And to offer it only to the highest, first of all, you have to take it back. The various fragments that you have offered to all the nonsensical people and objects and institutions, so just as disinvestment is necessary, disrespect is equally necessary. But you want to respect the truth without disrespecting the false. You are such sober and balanced householders. You say we want to, have the best of both worlds. Yes, we respect the truth greatly, but we don't dare to disrespect the false ones. We will be pleasant, even submissive to them. And the same head that you then bow down at 50 unworthy places, you offer to bow down to the truth as well. The truth rejects. Truth says, no, no, no. You are offering me a big check from an empty account. That's what your Shat Shat Naman is. It's like handing over a big check to me. Sir, we are giving away everything that we have. But your account has nothing at all. You are fooling me. First of all, withdraw money from all the places you have squandered it at and fill up your account. And that will suffice. After that, you don't need to offer it to me. Withdrawal is sufficient. Take it back. That is Yagya. Do you see this? The fire there. You know who's the fire? Agni Dev is symbolically called the priest, the first priest. And that also tells you the right definition of the priest. The priest is the one who doesn't keep anything for himself. What does fire do? The fire simply transfers whatever you gave to it to the sky. And what happens to the fire after that? The fire gets extinguished. The fire doesn't walk away with what you gave it to. Right? Does the fire do that? So fire symbolizes the priest. You offer something to the fire and the fire sends it to the sky. What does the sky denote? Your own higher possibility. So the more you give to the priest, the more the priest raises you. You get this. The priest then is not a person but a process. Will you allow this to penetrate? You have your ego self, right? And the ego self is accumulative. It builds an entire ecosystem of resources and protection around itself. Does it not? Give that up. That's what Yagya is. Give up your ecosystem. Allot your resources to better places. Withdraw, disinvest, disrespect, disallow. The more you keep yourself invested at this level, the more you stay Come on. The more you stay stuck to this level, this is where you are, right? This is the ego self. This is the plane of its being. And if it has made massive investments on this plane, can it ever rise above this plane? So if you want to rise above your plane, first of all, withdraw your investments. Now you have fewer stakes on this plane. Now you can rise. That's the Yagya. And by rising, you enable yourself to rise further. The more you rise, the more is your appetite to rise. The more you fall, the more you become disinclined to rise. And a point can come when you become almost totally disinclined to rise. What's that point called? The point of no return. The common man spends so much of his or her life just accumulating, and if he is a careful, cautious kind of individual, then saving. Those who put money in risky instruments, stocks, forex trading, options trading, they are often found spending half their day just gazing at the screen, because every micro movement can mean lakhs in plus or minus. The question is, what are you saving all this for? Okay, a basic question, might sound childish, but please cope. Let's say you spent 100 years of your life in saving rupees 100 crore. Sounds so delicious. Many of us just smiled. Yes. It's a nice prospect. 100 crores would be fine. Yes, sir, please proceed. All right. So that ends the tasty part of it. Now to some bitterness. Now you die because you are 100. Having saved those 100 crore rupees, now you die. You had actually earned rupees 101 crore. You spent just 1 crore in whatever pursuit, and you saved 9900 something. And now you are dead. So 100 years were spent saving 100 crores. Only 1 crore was utilized. Very broadly put, what you have saved is rupees 1 crore per year of your life, right? So 1 year of your life translated to 1 crore of saving, and that's what you put that entire year to. All the time you are just thinking of earning and saving, earning and saving, earning and saving, right? So that 1 year equals 1 crore. 1 crore equals 1 year of life. 1 crore equals 1 year of life. And now you are dead and that 100 crore is lying in some goddamn account. So how much of life has gone waste? 99 years. What you did for an entire 99 years has gone totally waste. Because you are there no more. What was the point in accumulating so much? There was a point. The point was the psychological security of the ego, because the ego is always trembling. So it wants to feel good. There is so much in the bank. Helps me feel good. And you need to feel good exactly because of inner ignorance. You need that amount to feel good exactly because you have a lot of fear inside. Instead of accumulating that much, why not invest that much in getting rid of the fear in the first place? Please tell me. Did the fear go away totally even after saving 100 CR? Did it? No, instead it actually compounded. Now you're also afraid about protecting that 100 CR. And what was that saving for? That saving was just to give you some psychological security. I have money. You knew fully well in advance you will never be able to use that money in your lifetime. You knew well in advance you will die leaving behind that money. Why did you then not spend it rightly? Why did you then not spend it in ways that will help you get rid of your fear? And if there is no fear, there is no need to needlessly earn and needlessly sweat and toil. And therefore needlessly sell yourself to your boss or to your customer. Your fear makes you do all these things, right? You are afraid. So you'll have to turn your customer or client into your God, so that you can have some money and you can put that money in the bank or in the funds. And then the notes are all safe. And you are? Swaha. The inevitable Yagya. Do you see this? Reflect on your priorities. Reflect on your purposes. Reflect on your very central agenda points. No, by the end of this year, I should have saved this much. Why? I intend to buy that thing, that object, that piece of land, that house. Fine. Why? No, not discouraging, just examining. Why? Your time, your energy, your attention, your devotion is all that you have. Money is nothing but a concrete form of all these things, right? Money is time, money is energy, money is attention, money is effort, money is sweat. If this is all that you have, why are you putting your effort, your time, your attention, your devotion at undeserving places, at unexamined places?